Alrighty, guys. So I have flat out had enough of Destiny. I am advocating for him to be arrested and thrown in prison. He is constantly advocating for violence. He is openly saying right here, the left needs to stop unilaterally disavowing violence until the president leans on this issue. It doesn't matter if he leads the way you want it to or not. This is literally what you would call, like, I don't know, threatening somebody's life unless they agree with you. Why does the president have to come out and say, oh, I disavow left-wing violence before you disavow left-wing violence? It's absolutely disgusting, isn't it? Here's the problem, too. The left will unilaterally find any person who was violent that was right-wing, even if they weren't violent for political reasons. They don't understand nuance at all. They don't understand that serial killers are a thing. They don't understand that murderers are a thing. They don't understand that there are people out there who are very, very mentally ill. How you determine the difference? Well, you not necessarily determine the difference of being mentally ill or something like that, but how you determine the difference of somebody who's attacking your side or for terrorism is their motive. Here's the thing. We had a right-wing dude. I'm fully willing to call the dude a right-wing dude. Attack a Mormon church. He didn't do it to intimidate them to vote differently. He didn't do it to say, you know, vote Democrat or else or vote Republican or else. That's not what happened there. We don't know why he did what he did, but no matter what could possibly come out of this, could not come out politically. It doesn't make any sense. That's the problem. So we had a very mentally ill war veteran, a guy who literally had PTSD, come back and attack somebody. We see leftists doing it all of the time, right? And yet I don't have to sit there and point those out if they weren't politically motivated. That's the crazy thing about it. And if you want proof for that, leftists, I suggest you watch this video until the end before you comment. Be very smart. Leftists never do. They're going to look at the thumbnail and they're going to look at the title. They're going to comment and they're going to sound so stupid. And they're going to say things that I've already addressed in the video. And they're not going to pay attention to what I say whatsoever. I'm going to sit here and say, hey, this guy was right-wing. And they're going to be like, oh, your guy was right-wing. You're stupid. Wasn't my guy. Okay? When my guys start attacking the left wing, maybe you then can have something to say. Maybe. But here's the difference. I disavow that. You guys don't. That's a major, major difference. I disavow my side going and attacking the left. For now, anyway. Unless you guys don't learn how to stop. That's the issue. For now, I am willing to tell them, no, not okay. You guys aren't. And Destiny said it right here. It has been years of the left physically attacking us. And I'm going to show you guys a vast majority of it. Because I'm sick and tired of it. Let's get through Destiny's stupid tweet here. This should not be hard to ask. It's not hard to ask. But this is what we think of it, Destiny. Shove it up your ass. Just so we're all following the chain of events that have unfolded over the past few weeks, Charlie Kirk this is a lie. This is a lie. There's absolutely no evidence to suggest what he said. Charlie Kirk was not ended by a Mormon. He was ended by a trans, radical, LGBTQ, Antifa member. We have all the evidence. We have all the proof, but he's going to be a conspiracy theorist and just say, nope, government's lying. Because, you know, he's a conspiracy theorist wearing a tinfoil hat, and he thinks the government's behind everything, right? How's it feel to be on the other... How's it feel for the shoe to be on the other foot there, Destiny? Basically, every Democrat leader reiterated that violence is unacceptable to resolve our political disagreements and universally condemn the end of Charlie Kirk. No, they have not. No, they absolutely have not, and I have video after video after video of it. I have the entire Democrat Party passing out buttons asking if Trump is dead yet. I made that video like 2 days ago. It was the Ohio Democrats. You lying sack of garbage. Trump refused to disavow violence on his side and said that he hates his enemies. That's not true either. Show me one instance of the right wing attacking the left. You can't. Trump said that when the left engages in violence, it's because they're evil, but when the right does it, they're righteous. He has never done that because the right has not engaged in violence with the left. Hasn't happened. So it's another lie. He could show an example, but Destiny could never show an example. No leftist could show an example of this. When asked for an example, you just get called names. So it's a lie. Everyone on the right online is essentially, or sometimes explicitly, calling for civil war. No. We're saying you're starting a civil war. That's not calling for it. We're saying stop it with the violence or it's going to happen. We're going to defend ourselves if you don't stop. That's the point. We are giving you guys every single last chance to stop attacking us. Thomas Sanford, a MAGA enthusiast whose Facebook is littered with insane MAGA memes, drives his truck into a Mormon church and ends as many Mormons as possible, murdering at least 4 and injuring more in the process. Okay, why did he do that? Was it to get Biden out of office? Was it to say, hey, we need less left-wing people? Was this a politically motivated attack? No. Okay, it was just a right-winger going and attacking people? Just happened to be right-wing, but it wasn't politically motivated at all? Wow. Well, if that's the case, Destiny, it looks like then we are in every single way, shape, and form correct, okay? Correct in cleaning up Chicago. Let's see here. So, where is it? Here we go. BLM. No, not BLM. No, not BLM here. I'm not trying to... I'm going to pull up the non-political stuff first. Where is it? I think it is... Nope. Not in any of these. It must be this. Okay, here we go. Gang-related shootings. Here we go. This is non-political, okay? But these are all going to be left-wing people. Every one of them. If they care about politics at all. And even if they're not left-wing people, let's say they're all apolitical. It is left-wing cities who have enabled this. Exact monthly statistics, specific gang-related shootings are not consistently tracked or publicly reported by police departments. Okay, well, it'll probably break it down by year then. Let's see. Indicates significant portion of 50 to 70% of total shootings and homicides stem from gang activity. 50 to 70%. Below, I summarize the most recent available data. Total, okay, here we go. So, New York, 903 shootings. Chicago, 2,400 shootings. Portland, 803 shootings. Los Angeles, 1,150 shootings. 606 non-fatal incidents? What does that even mean? I asked for shootings specifically. 150 non-fatal. Okay, from San Francisco. Okay? All of these here. Left-wing cities. You don't find that in right-wing cities. That's a fact. Now, here's the issue. None of these people I would consider political. But 50 to 70% of all shootings in the United States stem from left-leaning areas. 50 to 70% gang activity that Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Portland, Detroit, San Francisco, all of those areas should be cleaning up their act. But we're sending in the military to do it. Memphis is also one of them. Blue City. I should have added it to the list here. But we don't consider that political. We don't go and pull up the background of every one of these guys. For every one guy you're going to find that was a MAGA shooter, you will find thousands of people who have voted Obama or Biden, if they voted at all. That's where they are leaning. And I'm sick and tired of Destiny coming out and going, okay, well, I found a MAGA guy that did something really, really heinous. It wasn't politically motivated at all, so it can't be counted really as terrorism because, you know, it wasn't motivated by political messaging saying you must do this or these attacks will continue. No, it was just a guy that was off his gourd, snapped, and went and did something, right? And he should be condemned. That should never happen. You will never see a leftist condemn their own. But you will see MAGA do that. You will see MAGA say that's not right and we condemn it. Because we're actual human beings. It's crazy how that works. Absolutely insane, isn't it? But we go into more, okay? The ADL has just labeled Christians and Charlie Kirk's TPUSA as organizations that promote hate and extremism. And they won't do that to left-wing groups. Charlie Kirk, the man who took a bullet for speaking, is considered more hateful and extreme by the ADL than the man who took his life. Than the man, quote unquote. And the organization that took his life. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm going to give these people one last chance before things really get rough for them. And before I start calling for actual action. I'm sick and tired of this, you know. Look at this. Destiny drops a response to J.D. Vance's tweet about the Mormon church attack. Says Trump as president needs to be the leader in disavowing violence. It's unbelievable, you know. They're like, oh, no, he had a Trump shirt on. That must have meant something, right? And they're like, wow, this is crazy. The one and only one. The literal meme of like, look, the right does it too, when the left has like 40 tallies on their side and one over to the right side. And they're like, see, the right wing does it too. It's so it's even. It's unbelievable. This guy says, man, I used to think Destiny was a smart guy. He's just completely disregarding facts to spin a narrative. He absolutely is. Destiny used to at least be able to spin the facts. Now he's fabricating facts. You can't even call them facts. That's a silly thing to even say. He's just fabricating garbage. This guy who ended Charlie Kirk was not Mormon. It's unbelievable to think so. Because Mormons go around, they date trans peoples and stuff, you know what I mean? Does Destiny not realize that normal people disavow violence and it's not partisan or about politics? It's about being a human without a soul and not on Adderall? There you go. Watch this. Is he asking for normal people to disavow it? It's such a stupid, stupid thing to say. The left is too far gone. And at this point, I'm telling them now, either coexist or find out. Because I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. Honestly. Destiny needs to be thrown in prison. So does Hassan Piker. So anyway, we're going to go through some of the other stuff. Suspected fatal Portland ending of Trump supporter. Okay. Remember this guy? Now, this is after he got ended by the police because he led a high-speed chase and opened fire on cops. And the left tried to sit there and say that he was wrongfully ended and that they got revenge for their guy. Isn't that weird? Isn't that psychotic? But anyway, the fugitive who allegedly ended a pro-Trump protester in Portland, he wasn't even protesting. He was just walking around with the MAGA hat on. He just walked around a corner and a guy saw him and popped him from behind. Yeah. That's what happens to Trump supporters. How many Biden supporters or left-wing people in general have had that happen to them? Exactly. How many people were killed in the Chaz? You know, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. You know, one of the insurrections that the left created. There were 2 reported deaths due to shootings. 2 of them. At their Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. Guess what? They were their own as well. What happened is there were 2 guys that were black, that didn't look very black, that went into a black-only area, and then they got gunned down. And then those people found out later on that, you know, they were actually black. But yeah, gunned them down for crossing a line. Literally. It was a 16-year-old and a 19-year-old. 2 kids. Here, let me get my head out of the way so you can see that. 2 of them. Actually, I'll move myself over here. There we go. Be a little better. It's just unacceptable. But they don't disavow it. There have been over 600 riots with the Black Lives Matter movement. Do y'all know what riots are? I can tell you this. They're sitting there and they're saying more than 93% of them have been peaceful. Not if they're riots. Not if they're riots. That's the funny thing about it. Riots are not peaceful by definition. I didn't ask how many protests either. There were way more protests than 600. 600 of them turned into riots. Okay? George Floyd protests. Okay. Let's see here. How many deaths happened from the George Floyd riots? 19 deaths. Now, keep in mind, these were left-wingers who attacked right-wingers, or people who they at least perceived to be right-wing. That's insane, you know? Now, they're saying that this guy was ended by police during a crowd dispersal. He was known for feeding officers. I don't know about that. I don't know about him, like this innocent guy, you know. This guy was ended while providing security at a courthouse during the protests. Shot outside a pawn shop amid rioting. The shop owner was arrested. Okay. Shots during protests, known as a community figure and businessman. Several other deaths occurred, often involving altercations on vehicle incidents during protests. These people attacked other people. The BLM rioters went out of their way, attacked other people, and they either found out or they took someone's life. But they were never attacked themselves. And that's the problem with the left. They strike you and cry out in pain when they do. They don't learn. According to the analysis here, how many deaths occurred from Antifa riots? I wonder. I haven't even looked. You know? Key data on Antifa-linked fatalities. Let's see. They're saying none since 1994. I don't remember Antifa rioting in 1994. That's odd. So anyway, then they come down to the actual deaths. Let's see. So, protester participants, 11 to 14 deaths. Bystander civilians, 8 to 10. And law enforcement, 1 to 2. These people are psychotic, they're unhinged, they're violent. Secret Service agents wounded outside of out of White House. Car bombs feared. They set the White House church on fire, and Trump was taken to a bunker in 2020. This was another insurrection that took place before January 6th. The left has so many insurrections under their belt. Not to count the Palestine one that they did, where they vandalized the entire inside just a few months after January 6th. Wild, right? There are multiple insurrections that the left has done. All of ours have been in response to them. And the left doesn't like when we respond to them. Destiny does not like when we respond. He condemns us for responding to his violence. Secret Service agents rushed Donald Trump to the White House bunker on Friday night as hundreds of protesters gathered outside the executive mansion. Some of them throwing rocks and tugging at police barricades. Yeah, that sounds super peaceful. Throwing rocks, you know, that's just a normal thing to do. You can't kill anybody throwing a rock, right? Trump spent nearly an hour in the bunker, which was designed for use in emergencies like terrorist attacks. Huh, crazy. What a coincidence. It's almost like a terrorist attack was going on outside of the White House. Crazy, huh? Rioters set fire to federal courthouse in Portland. Another insurrection. Crazy how that happens. And they say, F the United States, Antifa tried to break into the federal courthouse in Portland. Federal officers just removed the barricades, protecting the building after months of Antifa attacks on the building. Months of Antifa attacking. Okay? Let's see here. How many ICE attacks have taken place? There's been an 1,000% increase in assaults on ICE officers, with specific incidents including shootings and attacks on facilities. However, the exact number of attacks is not specified. Whatever. In the past, ICE reported a 500% increase in assaults against its officers, highlighting a troubling trend. So that was, I think, in his first term. Now, 1,000%. We know how many times, I know of at least 3 this year, specifically, where ICE agents were shot at by extreme leftists. At least 3 of them. The one on the farm, and 2 that took place at actual facilities. Then you have actual Democrat leaders, you know, Destiny here, saying that basically every Democrat leader reiterated that violence is unacceptable, as many Democrat leaders were assaulted for punching ICE officers outside of their facility. Huh. Weird how that happens, huh? And then we get to this.
For the fucking, the great cleansing, dude.
Cleansing?
The cleansing.
What cleansing?
When we genocide conservatives in this country.
Are you gonna be out in the streets with your Glock?
Maybe. I gotta go back to Nebraska and grab it. I'm ready for the fucking...
Constantly. I have so many videos of Destiny constantly inciting violence. They even made a nice 65
Gunshots at the Trump rally? Shut the fuck up.
Hold on.
That Drew Pavla. Yeah, that guy. Also, I want to apologize to Jackson Hill. Oh, that's the other part of this problem that many people that can't contend with. Like, the Palestinian resistance is not perfect.
That's what he says about them actually physically.
By the way,
like,
the Brawler League is crazy because he openly
assaulting
admitted that he
people.
knows. He openly admitted that he knows.
You know, let's pull it up on stream.
hold on.
okay.
I
I
just
just
don't
of
want to
like-
get to the brothel.
Vision
We'll
of
have to
Rock
watch this
is-
whole thing.
And
Let's see.
letting their intestines just ride on stage. What the fuck is this shit, man? Slice them up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I think that shows that there's a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, and untapped revolutionary potential, as a matter of fact. Well, my understanding
That was the
is
one
that
where
that's
he
it.
literally.
7-4 Bellevue
There we go.
type motherfuckers to just like eat his ass alive, you know?
874 Bellevue Drive, and I'm gonna kill you with my AR-15.
Like, that's the type of messages they were leaving in this dude's office, and he's resigning. So I think that people are a lot more radical now.
So they were leaving messages, and then he resigned, and they're like, it worked. Got him to resign. Death threats are great. There are so many in this video. Over 20 minutes. Hassan making death threats, making awful, endorsing anything that Destiny claims that leftists don't do. Endorsing violence, killings, atrocities, and RAPES. Yeah. Which I can't say out loud on YouTube. The party of the left is the party of violence. And I don't care that you dig up or that an incident happens where a right-wing guy commits atrocities. Because one, you're not going to be able to use it as any kind of political ammo because he didn't attack anybody for political reasons. So that's just stupid. Two, we're going to disavow anybody committing violence, no matter who it is, because MAGA is not the party of violence. And three, we will not deal with leftists threatening us anymore. Period. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Link down in the description below to go to my Discord, so that way you'll get notified of every video I do. Thank you all again. I live stream throughout the week, usually during the weekdays, but we'll see what happens. My schedule's a little funky right now. Thank you all again, though, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.